Living in Spain in 2026 is not the postcard version people scroll past on Instagram, and it's not the doom and gloom version some comment sections make it out to be either. It's sunnier, slower, cheaper in some places and shockingly not in others, more layered than people expect, and somehow still more livable than almost anywhere else I've spent real time. After years of actually being here, dealing with the paperwork, the language differences, the weather that changes completely depending on which train you take, this is the most honest picture I can give you of what people get wrong before they move here. If you want the real, unfiltered picture of life in this country, whether you already live here or you're still deciding, hit subscribe and turn on the bell. I only make these kinds of honest breakdowns every so often. I've spent enough time here now to have gone through the excitement phase, the frustration phase, and the settled-in phase. My goal today isn't to sell you on Spain and it isn't to talk you out of it either. I just want to walk through the assumptions people carry in with them, the ones I see in the comments constantly, and tell you what's actually true once you're living it day to day. We're talking about the cost of living myth, the siesta myth, the language assumption, the weather assumption, and the pace of life assumption. All the things that sound simple from the outside and turn out to be a lot more regional and specific once you're actually here. The cost of living conversation is the one that trips people up the most. Spain has this reputation online as the cheap European escape, and for some regions, sure, that still holds up. But Madrid and Barcelona have changed a lot in the last few years. Rent in the city centers has climbed hard, and people who show up expecting the prices from an old blog post or a 5-year-old video get a real shock when they start apartment hunting. San Sebastian, parts of the Balearics, similar story. Meanwhile, smaller towns and inland cities can still feel genuinely affordable: groceries, eating out, day-to-day costs. So the honest answer isn't cheap or expensive, it's that Spain is really a collection of very different cost of living realities depending on the map pin, and that catches almost everyone off guard the first time they actually budget for it. The siesta thing needs to be addressed too, because it's one of the most repeated stereotypes about this country. People picture the entire nation shutting down every afternoon for a nap. In big cities, that's just not the daily rhythm anymore. Most people are working standard hours like anywhere else in Europe. The siesta tradition really comes out of smaller towns and rural life, tied historically to farming and to avoiding the harshest midday heat. Some small shops in southern towns still close for a couple hours in the afternoon, but a city like Madrid runs through the day like most other capitals. So it's not really a myth exactly, it's an outdated generalization being applied to a country that's mostly moved past it in urban areas. If you currently live in Spain, drop one real thing in the comments, either a misconception you had before moving or one you still hear all the time. The honest answers help more than any list I could put together. By the way, if you want a deeper video on the actual cost of living broken down city by city, I already made one. I'll leave the link in the description below. The language assumption is quieter, but it genuinely surprises people once they arrive. A lot of newcomers assume that speaking Spanish, even fluent Spanish, means they'll be fully understood and fully settled anywhere in the country. But Spain has several official regional languages depending on where you land. Catalan in Catalonia, Basque in the Basque Country, Galician in Galicia. Almost everyone will understand standard Spanish, but the language people actually speak with each other day to day, on signage, in local media, can be completely different from what someone learned in a classroom. I remember spending time in a small town outside Barcelona early on and being genuinely confused because half the conversations around me weren't in the Spanish I'd studied. Nobody was unfriendly about it, it just wasn't what I expected walking in. The weather assumption is one of the bigger ones, because the marketing around Spain leans so hard into endless sunshine. The south really does deliver that, Andalusia especially, hot and bright most of the year. But go north to Asturias or Galicia and it's green, it rains often, temperatures stay mild, some months it genuinely feels closer to Ireland than to the Mediterranean image people carry in their heads. Madrid, sitting in the middle, gets colder winters than most people plan for. So Spain isn't one climate, it's several distinct climates stitched into a single country, and anyone moving here purely chasing beach weather needs to actually research the specific region first. The pace of life assumption is the last one, and it's more about culture than logistics. People associate the long meals, the late dinners, the relaxed conversations, with inefficiency, assuming bureaucracy and business here must move just as slowly and loosely. Some administrative processes, residency paperwork, certain account setups, genuinely do take longer than people expect coming from faster-moving systems, and that surprises a lot of newcomers. But that's not the same as people not working hard or things not functioning. It's a different set of priorities. Meals take longer because the time together is the point, not because anyone's being careless. It took me a while to stop being frustrated by the pace and just accept it as a different rhythm, not a worse one. The quiet truth after all this time is pretty simple. Spain is not the cheap sunny escape some videos promise, and it's not the bureaucratic frustration some comment threads complain about either. It's regional, it's layered, and it depends heavily on where exactly you land, what your income looks like, how much sunshine you actually need, and how much you're willing to adjust your expectations to the local pace instead of the other way around. If you already live here, you already know most of this. If you're still deciding, go in with clear eyes. The country won't rearrange itself around the version of Spain you saw online. But plenty of people still choose it, and stay, for reasons that make complete sense once they're actually living it. That's the most honest picture I can give you of the common misconceptions about life here. Thank you for watching today's video. If you found this helpful, please give it a like, share it with someone who's curious about Spain, and subscribe to the channel. Drop any other misconceptions or topics you'd like me to cover in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one.